Parivashanam. Today we are going to meet a unique, I can say, devotee who got introduced to the Kanchimat in the year 2015 through a devotee called as Premnath Swaminathan, who resides in Bangalore and who is a very close volunteer of Kanchimat. He is going to discuss unique aspects of the relationship between Kanchipuram and Kashmir. In fact, in our scriptures, Kanchipuram is referred to as Kashmir as well in some contexts. So that's a unique, interesting aspect about two great education centers in India, which used to be a great education center, like just the way how in the olden period Kashmir used to be a great education hub, Varanasi used to be a great education hub, and in South India, Kanchipuram used to be a great education hub. So all this experience today is going to be around how Shri Koul met the 70th Pontiff of Kanchipuram, Kamakoti Pitam, Shri Shankara Vijayendra Saraswati Swamigal, and how he got introduced to his own culture and how he then transformed his life and how he transformed lives of 6,000 people who are today working towards reviving the Kashmiri tradition. So, Namaste sir.
Namaskar.
आपका नाम बोलिए.
My name is Rakesh Koul.
Okay. So I would like to first understand how your relationship between yours and Premnath and how you came to the Kanchimat, and then you can start describing.
Thank you for coming here. And yes, today is a very auspicious day. Today is the Ashtami.
Yes.
As well as we have a beautiful shower outside.
Yes. Yeah. Indicating that Guru is with us.
Yes, of course. We have the blessings.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So we have a very small community here of Kashmiri Pandits in Bangalore.
Okay.
And we basically do often celebrate our first festivals, do some rituals, perform some havans and all. So this one friend of ours, Premnath Swaminathan, so he basically used to come to our programs, and in his discussion when we had interacted many times, he pointed out the connection between Kanchi and Kashmir. And he also in his when we were speaking, he also was talking about how they are going to Kashmir every year, and then work on the revival of the temples there, and there are many other efforts which Kanchi Mat was taking in terms of the revival of the temples in the Kashmir, and then re-establishing the connections between Kanchi and Kashmir.
Yeah.
So in that perspective, Premnathan ji requested that why don't we sometimes come to the Math and meet and meet Swamiji himself, and take his blessing and take his guidance.
Yeah.
So I was not knowing ever, because we were very new in Bangalore, and I thought yes, definitely. Then we together, three families, friends together, went with Premnathan ji, and it was a wonderful experience. We reached there by around afternoon, and we took the darshan of Vijayendra Saraswati ji, and when he met and Premnathan ji introduced us that they are devotees from Kashmir, and then Swamiji, when he knew that they have come from Kashmir and their families, we had my two children were with me, and my other friends, their children also there. So Swamiji indicated that I want to have a close room discussion with them, and in fact he asked everybody that I need some time with them. I think the time which Swamiji gave, I think I would say that time was really, I can say, most auspicious, and then that changed so many things, especially for me. I would say I will narrate my story here, because what we're talking here. So first the discussion started about where are we from Kashmir, and where do we stay in Bangalore, and just a basic introduction. But then in the discussion, Swamiji pointed out very important aspects of Kashmiri Pandits, especially ours, which I was not aware. Swamiji also pointed out that we Kashmiri Pandits belong to a Katha Shakha, which is a very unique branch of Krishna Yajurveda. I was not knowing that. And in fact, Swamiji also gave us one DVD with all that Vedic mantras from the the Rig Vedas. And then he also told that this is the recitation
Oh, that's the style of recitation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, followed
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Kashmir.
And then Swamiji also pointed out the Lokakshi Graha Sutras, because we Kashmiri basically follow the tradition from Lokakshi
Okay.
Rishi. And that book was that Swamiji told, basically discussed about the book which was released in 2011 by Madhusudan Hunduji.
Okay.
So it was a wonderful interaction. But what changed later in the discussion, Swamiji also basically gave, my children also were there. Swamiji basically gifted me this book. So this is a Sharada Akshar Gyan.
Okay.
So this basically Swamiji just mentioned to me that this is the book, this is the script, this is the original script of Kashmir.
Okay.
This was little bit shocking to me, to be very honest. Even though when we migrated from Valley, I will come to that, because we
Migrated is a very polished word.
Yeah, it is like when our exodus happened. When
Yes.
our exodus happened in 90.
Yes.
And now our younger generation, I was young that time, and all younger generation, we were basically looking at our identity, our basically
True.
where do we come from,
Yes.
or what we have lost, right?
Yes.
So there was some voidness in us, right? So that's what we were basically looking at. And then this was little bit a shock for me, I can say a mental shock, where I got a gift from Swamiji himself about the Sharada script, and I got this gift in Kanchi, way in south of the India, and written by a Kashmiri Pandit.
Yes.
Kashmiri Pandit from Jammu.
Yes.
Okay, from Jammu and Kashmir. Omkarnath Shastri ji, this Sharada Akshar Gyan was written by Omkarnath Shastri ji, and Swamiji expressed that we should work towards the script. We should work towards revival of the script.
Yes.
It was an eye-opening for me. Honestly, I only knew till then that this script is just in horoscope, because I know my horoscope is written in Sharda Lipi. I did not know beyond that.
Okay.
I did not know beyond that.
Okay.
So it was a wonderful discussion, and I would say very emotional aspects also, because when we left, Swamiji also basically instructed Premnathan that you should take them to darshan of the temple and show them the temple.
What all temples you went? You remember?
We went to Ma Parvati,
Kamakshi.
Kamakshi temple, and the Shiva temple there.
Yeah, Ekambareshwar.
Yeah. So we went there. We took the darshana there, and we left late in the night. I would say the connection between the guru and the disciple. So when we, in fact, I should acknowledge it in the video here.
Yes.
So when we left, Swamiji also told, do you want to stay? I said, no, Swamiji, because tomorrow we have my children, I have schools, and I have my own commitment office. He said, okay, no problem. You can go. And late 11:30, I get a call from Premnathan ji.
Inquiring whether you reached.
No, not inquiring. Swamiji has called him to check whether we reached safely.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
God. Okay.
So it was so emotional touch. We felt so blessed that Swamiji himself is basically so caring about us, that he is just inquiring about whether we reached safely and all those
True.
things. It was wonderful experience.
In fact, in your blog, you mentioned that you promised Swamiji that he will come back, take his permission, and only then leave.
Yes, that's right. No, we went to the temple darshana. We went to temple darshana, and then after that we came back to Swamiji, take his darshana, and then he said, yes, now you can leave. We departed.
We call it as Uttaravu in our language.
Exactly.
We take his permission and only then we leave.
Exactly. So, that's right. So this was one aspect of that connection, like how that bond is basically there. I think it created a bond.
True.
And then what happened, this incident also was basically, I also started looking, now Swamiji has instructed that I should start working on something Sharada Lipi, something called Sharada Lipi, and
which you have never heard before.
I had never heard before about it, and this was an eye opening for me. And then I was looking for a teacher.
Okay.
And at that point in 2015, I would say there were hardly maybe 5 to 6 people from our community, that were very elderly.
In Bangalore?
No. Overall.
Okay.
In Jammu Kashmir, there were a lot of good scholars in our community were there. So Dembi ji is there, Tushkani ji is there, Kunju ji is there. There are many scholars who have really done extensive work on this Sharadas.
Okay.
But then I was looking for a teacher who can basically teach me.
Okay.
So I was fortunate enough, I was speaking to one of my friends, can somebody teach me? And I was fortunate enough that I got one teacher.
Okay.
And younger than me, his name was Vikas. And then he taught us few students in a WhatsApp itself. And I would say that in that whole journey, only two to three students were who learned it properly with the dedication.
Oh, at the end of the curriculum.
At the end of our teacher, the way he taught it. But then after he taught, it was my teachers, Vikas ji is also basically I committed to him that yes, now I will take it forward.
Okay.
I'll have to work, basically we have to work toward this script. And then I started making small WhatsApp groups.
Okay.
Small WhatsApp group, and started basically WhatsApp was just introduced.
It was just getting introduced.
I used that technology as a WhatsApp, and we started making groups for Sharada Learning.
Okay.
Where I used to make small videos and then post it, and also I started making the YouTube videos. And then we became that group of small teachers where we started teaching the students. And then those students who learned, they also became our own teachers.
Okay.
That is how this network grown. In this journey, because now we were in this journey of teaching the Sharada script, and we also started looking at what is this important, why is this Sharada script relevant. And it will be very surprising, it was a shock for us that we found almost there are 30 to 40,000 manuscripts.
Oh God.
And digitized.
Okay.
Just digitized. I'm not talking about those manuscripts which are lying in some people's houses. There are some places in libraries.
And no idea how much is lost.
Nobody, how much is lost, how much is burnt, and whatever are destroyed because of all the invasions, all the attacks which Kashmir had. This is all that which are available, digitized, and we know hardly 5 to 7% of those manuscripts available have seen the day of light.
Oh God.
This was an eye-opening for us, because when we saw these manuscripts, when we started doing a research on these, they were not only about the religion, they were about the philosophy, they were about astrology, they were about science, they were about technology, they were about mathematics. In fact, we also started from this, we also learned that the oldest, today when we are talking about the Sharada script, the oldest carbon, based on the carbon dating, the manuscript which is available in today, which is basically the Bakshali, it is actually the mathematical text, which is the 3rd century AD. So historically, we are basically, as an evidence, we claim that Sharada script was, yes, it is derived from Brahmi Lipi, but it is basically from 3rd century AD.
At least for now.
At least for now.
Yeah.
But we have some evidences from Saundra Lahiri also, where Adi Shankaracharya himself has explained some alphabets, like example letter E in one shloka Mukham Bindu Kitva. So I will not recite that now, but there are evidence about that Saundra in Sharada Lipi in that. That means it is not just, it must be much older than that.
Obviously his period.
It must
which is 2500 plus.
And this script being predominant in Kashmir, Himachal, even Afghanistan, whatever the Bakshali manuscript I'm talking about, this manuscript was found in Afghanistan. So then this was an eye-opening for us, and this was also a motivation for us that this is the time we Kashmiri Pandits give the information to the whole world, or open that knowledge back, and that window is only through the Sharada script, which are basically lying in the libraries, which are lying in the different places. I think this is an opportunity. This was an opportunity for us to open. One is work on the manuscripts. One is basically open that ocean of the knowledge which is hidden in these manuscripts, which have never seen the day of light, right? Then the other aspect for us, the motivation was the revival itself. Because we also found there was no reason that this manuscripts or this Sharada script should go extinct. Like example, we today say Brahmi, the Devanagari has elived from Brahmi, but there are reasons that Brahmi, it was an evolution. But Sharada being extinct was only because of the social political reasons.
Lack of people not really taking it up.
Exactly. So then we took as a mission of revival of the Sharada script. And then the groups started becoming bigger and bigger. And our team, we named our team. It was initially not named also. So our team is Core Sharada Team, and you'll be very happy to know that so far we have almost taught more than 6,000 students. Our students are not just from the Kashmiri Pandit community. What we have seen, this Sharada script is for the interest of many scholars, many Sanskrit scholars across the nation.
Yeah.
Not only India. We also have taken classes with Oxford University, with Australian Open University. But there are many Western scholars also. But the point is, the condition when Britishers left India, we all know how the Sanskrit was there.
Yeah, yes.
How do we basically, if we today give credit for Sanskrit revival, like example organization like Sanskrit Bharati and many other have taken that initiative to revival the Sanskrit.
Yes.
And when we today read that Sanskrit, when we today understand that when we understand that Sanskrit today, and we see that our India has a glorious past, right?
Yes.
I think that is where we found that if we will have to bring back the pride in our own community members, like today the younger generation, my children tomorrow, if they will say, why should I call myself now a Kashmiri Pandit? I may not never return back, or I may be somewhere in US or whatever.
Yeah.
For me, what is that in Kashmir? So until unless we bring that glory back,
Yes.
that sense of pride will be missing.
Yes.
I think that is the reason that what we have been working so far. It has been wonderful journey. And for your information, we never had a font for Sharada Lipi. All of the students used to write Sharada basically, but in handwritten. Today we published the books. We have all these primers. This is if you see Sharada part 1 and part 2. These are our basic primer guides. Yeah, so I can show you this.
So where like elementary school, you have actually gone ahead and created the font.
Yes.
I mean, this is terrific work.
We digitized. We also got this font as Unicode. We have got a Unicode recognition of this font.
Amazing.
So and then there is another book which I want to point out.
Great. This is really very appreciable work actually.
We do lot of collaboration with various universities. Like example, in Bangalore, we did one workshop. In fact, during COVID, with Vyoma Labs, you'll be surprised that we had almost 700 students in a single batch.
Oh.
And I recently we basically did a workshop, all over India level scholarly workshop. It happened in Sringeri just last month.
Okay.
So what I'm talking about today, the Sharada script is not only for the Kashmiri Pandit that it was their knowledge, but because when today we are talking about with universities and various, when I talk with Bhandarkar University, they are working on
Mahabharata. The Pune based Bhandarkar.
Yeah. They are working on a Mahabharata text, and they say that the most, basically I can say that authentic part of Mahabharata text was found in Kashmir. So there are so many manuscripts in Kashmir which are really important.
Also, Afghanistan is known to be Gandhari's land and all that.
So this was another challenge for us in our state. How do we, because when we were approaching so many universities outside Kashmir, and when I am talking about Sharada, so this was also a challenge that we need to basically bring back this in our state also. And how do we basically write Kashmiri in Sharada? Because in Kashmiri we have little different phonic sound. 6 vowels are extra, like example is there. We have also, like example.
Okay.
So we have some different additional sounds.
Okay.
For that it was a challenge for us. How do I now write these things in Sharada? And to be basically to just tell about that, so we also released the primer for how do you write Kashmiri, because this is also important.
Okay.
One is the students will learn Kashmiri, because today when we see our children in Bangalore or Delhi or Pune, they have forgotten Kashmiri language. How do we revive language and Lipi together? So this is our initiative here. If you see here, this is just a primer book, very beautifully drawn, very beautifully designed by our designer. His name is Sunil Mahanuriji. He designed all our text and all our graphics
really
from
nice,
him.
Really nice.
So this intention is how do we get the attention of younger children? Like example, today our students, our small children are learning German, Spanish as third language and other things.
Yes.
Why not Sharada itself?
Yes.
This is just one step.
I mean, additional to it. I mean, let them learn those languages.
Yeah, of course. We have never opposed anything.
Indians have always been open to knowledge.
We are inclusive for everything.
Yes.
But not at a cost of basically forgetting our own culture and tradition.
So, I mean, we have gone to an extent where we praise Max Muller for doing research in Sanskrit, but we don't praise our own Sanskrit scholars in India.
Absolutely right. So this is our journey where we are trying to get this primer also introduced in this state of Jammu Kashmir. Here also, I am requesting all those viewers, whenever basically you are talking in some forum and other things. So you should also basically put this point that yes, this is a script which is important and it needs identity back as an Indian recognized script.
Yes.
See, it is a very important. I want to just highlight one another point.
Yeah.
Do you have any currency?
Yes, you're talking about a currency.
So what I was talking about the currency. See the unfortunate part in our country. See in this is an 100 rupee note.
Okay.
This is an 100 rupee note.
Okay.
And this backside of this 100 rupee note, we have all these Indian
yes, official languages. Yeah.
Officially, we every Indian know that they are all Indian scripts.
Correct.
Can you believe in this? There is Urdu, means 100 rupiah, written in Urdu and Devanagari also. Yes, Urdu as a script, I agree, because Urdu is taught in India. There is also Kashmiri written, Hath rupiah. But that Kashmiri is written in Persian script.
Oh,
okay. And this, I want to bring this notice to everybody. And then Persian script is no different than Urdu. That's I don't see much difference. But my point is, why in Indian currency a Persian script should be recognized, where the even Muslims don't recognize Persian as a national.
True.
So why this? I do not want to bring that point that we should remove Persian. It's a political talk. But why cannot I have that 100 rupee, Hath rupee written in Sharada script? Written in Sharada. That is what we want. This is what our journey is about, Sharada Lipi revival. And for information, this script was not only for Kashmiri Pandits. This is also to note that this was interest of Kashmiri Muslims also when all these invasions happened and then post-invasion also. Even today, there are proofs if you go to Google and find out. Muslims, when they die, their burials, they used to basically write that in Sharada script. Intention was only to preserve the Sharada script. They also know that.
So that means they also contributed in terms
they
of
also contributed towards revival of the script. So this is our overall journey, and I would say yes, definitely without Swamiji's blessing that time, and if he would not have given that, or what you say that
impetus,
impetus to absolutely to start it, I think it would have never happened.
Yes,
it would have never happened. I think these when with the grace of God, when these acharyas, when these Shankaracharyas are there, and it's like Lord Shiva himself is basically giving the blessings, and they know the direction, they know where basically what we should do and what future generation.
They know which key to use on which lock.
Exactly, that is right. I think this is what was my journey about, how my journey started, where I was not knowing, and in fact knowing nothing about what I left in Kashmir. Today I don't know when I'll go back. I don't know when I will go back to that valley. I do not know when will time come when Kashmiri Pandits.
All of India is praying for you.
Yes, but definitely today I have an evaluation. I have an evaluation of what I have lost.
True.
And today the young generation of Kashmiri Pandits have got that voidness in them, that they are trying to search their missing identity, search that hidden glorious past of Kashmir. See, people do not know Kashmir. Just we know Kashmiri only what we understand from the news. Terrorism, we know only about the Dal. People go as a tourist, their Dal Lake. Many people do not know on Dal Lake, in the banks of Dal Lake, all Shaivacharyas, right from Abhinav Gupta, Somananda, Utpal Deva, have basically meditated, and it used to be also called the Sharad. There are many different stories about Dal
Kashmiri
Lake.
Shaivism.
It is not, so what I'm talking about, one is Kashmiri Shaivism, the Shakt tradition which originated from Kashmir. It is one, the Shakt and the Shaiv tradition which originated from Kashmir. The land of Kashyap Rishi, the land of Abhinav Gupta, the land of Utpal Deva. Okay. And that land, the Kashmir, and I'm so happy to say today that the Kashmir as a pilgrimage. When we were talking about Swamiji in our discussion, there is so much. Kanchi Shankaracharya ji and Kanchi Matha is doing lot of things to encourage that pilgrimage part of that Kashmir. Because when we are telling all Indians to go to Kashmir, I always tell them, don't just go go to that Dal Lake and then just have that Mughal gardens, and then you should see the natural Chakreshwara, the natural Sri Chakra, which is there in the Chakreshwari.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the natural Chakreshwari, and there are so many different temples. Swamiji has also in our discussion talked about the temple in Zithir, talked about the temple in Tulumula, where even Swami Vivekananda has visited. So Kashmir is, there are a lot of things to explore in Kashmir. One way of exploring is going to the pilgrimage of the Sharada, basically Kashmir, going to those important temples and listening those folk tales and listening to all those basically from Kashmiri Pandits himself, because in Kashmir all these temples are Swayambhu. This is also one very important point what I want to say.
Okay.
Kashmiri temples were never built, they are Swayambhu, they evolved of their own.
Oh, this I didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. And the other point of Kashmir, if you want to really explore, learn Sharda Lipi so that you are exposed to all that enormous knowledge which Kashmir. Today when I see 40,000, 50,000 of manuscripts and written by our own ancestors, it is all Bharat Varsha.
Yes.
And we will know what Kashmir had given to the whole world for company, and how this basically we say Adi Shankaracharya ji went to Kashmir and
then came back to Kanchipuram.
It was all the knowledge, how knowledge was basically getting transformed,
mixed,
exactly, between Kanchi and
in fact,
Kashmir.
if you see today, you will find a North Indian priest in Rameshwaram,
absolutely,
and a South Indian priest in Kashi.
Exactly.
You know? So
yes, exactly.
That is a kind of mixture of culture and knowledge.
Yes.
Anything else you would like to?
No, I think it was a wonderful this. I hope I have conveyed what I wanted.
I mean, you would have conveyed only what Swamiji wants you to convey. You know, I mean, it all started in 2015, and I think you have really narrated it in a nutshell as to. So I would, give your contact details for people who wants to connect with you.
Yes,
they can.
Our team is Core Sharda Team.
Okay.
In fact, for information, we also have registered this under basically the Company Act Section 8, so it's an registered NGO now.
Okay.
We are also trying to grow a little bigger in terms of the sustenance of how do we because our mission is. As I said, it's not just manuscript. We also want to get it revived. I want Sharda back as a script recognized in the Indian scripts. That's our mission.
Okay.
That's our goal.
Okay. I think in your blog, I think Swamiji had mentioned one more important point of if they are not returning to Kashmir, that is fine, but they should at least settle in nearby areas like Himachal.
I think that Swamiji had, in fact, Swamiji mentioned that time that we should also settle in some safe location. Where basically we will not have those threats of the terrorists. In fact, that's another. I hope someday will come. We will have our own location, our own Panun Kashmir.
Yes.
Where we basically Panun means apna.
Yeah, Panun Kashmir. Yes. Yeah.
I'm talking about
apna. हमारा भी है. हम भी Panun Kashmir बोलेंगे.
Yes.
Well, really thanks for giving your time. I hope that this video provides further impetus to whatever you're doing, and that people contact you and take this movement forward. Har Har Shankara, Jai Jai Shankara.
Pranam.